Hi, welcome to Unit 5, Solving Quadratic Equations with Rational Solutions. So in this unit, we're going to use your knowledge of factoring to find the roots or zeros of a function. And I kind of want to show you what that means. If I open up my Desmos graphing calculator and I click on this, when I do a parabola, like a quadratic function here, it makes a parabola. And on the parabola, the zeros are basically where it crosses the x-axis. So in this case, we have a 0 at -1, 0, and a 0 at 3, 0. So because x-axis, the y value is 0 when it crosses the x-axis, we call them zeros. And those are the points on this parabola. Now the goal of this unit is to be able to actually find the zeros of a function without graphing it. So we're going to find a few ways to do that, but just so you know, that's what zeros means. When we're talking about finding the zeros, if you can visualize in your head, a parabola where it crosses the x-axis is a 0. So in this unit, we're going to be solving quadratic equations, first with the zero product property. We're learning about zero product property and factoring, and then we're going to learn the square root property. Then we're going to have a couple of lessons on completing the square and a couple on the quadratic formula, and we will model with the quadratic equations. This is one of the big units of secondary math too. This is one of the things that really important that you know and that you understand, and we spend a lot of time on this unit. So it's why it's also a GVC unit. So this is one of those ones that we're going to have Google Forms at the end of 5 of your lessons to fill out when you have completed those. So the GVC is I can solve quadratic equations with rational solutions. So make sure at the end of those lessons when you're prompted that you fill out that GVC, that Google form for the GVC. And remember, in this one, notes can be turned in for extra credit on the Google form. So if you haven't been doing your notes, do your notes. And you can do handwritten notes, that's great, but you can also do guided notes, which, let me just remind you again, when we do guided notes, when you go into Edgenuity, here are your courses. So if I select my course, then each lesson will have a title here. If you hit that plus, then you can click on View Guided Notes for this lesson. And this will bring up all of your things step by step. It's basically your textbook as you go through and fill in as you watch the videos. So that's a great way to use your guided notes. Now, the other thing, the quadratic formula. So here's the parabola. All methods for solving quadratic equations, you can find the solutions, but some work in different situations better than others. But this is one that you will always get the solution to. And it's x equals a negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Now there's a link in my introduction, on my introduction page, that takes you to a video of a song that helps you memorize this, and even as I'm sitting here, it's running through my head, so it kind of gets stuck in your head, but it's a great way to learn it. And it says negative, I almost want to sing it, but I'm not going to. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So it'll be really helpful. This is one of those ways that you'll always be able to find the zero, and something we're going to be working on this unit. So the key word for this unit is zeros. So make sure you go back to your assignment in Edgenuity, answer the 2 questions in the submission box, and you can get started. If you have questions, please reach out and I will be able to help you. Let's go.